talking to you. What? You wake up in the morning, you say, I'm putting on my big boy pants. Look, I'm wearing the belt. I got big boy pants on.
Oh, Joe Schoen is trying to put his big boy pants on for the up-and-coming draft on Thursday. This is Tim's New York Giants Straight Talk, powered by Online Big Blue LLC. I think we need to discuss the nuances of Joe Schoen and how he is probably singularly the worst general manager going back to Andy Robustelli. He really is. And before all the neophytes out there go, well, this is just misdirection. You can't read into anything that Joe Schoen is saying. You don't know football. You don't know sports. This is why the New York Giant fan base has been pretty much renowned as one of the dumbest fan bases in the NFL. Because with everything that Joe Schoen says, there is some truth. Because if you go back and look at his most recent draft history, he's an enigma wrapped in a riddle. But normally what you think he is going to do, he does anyways. That's what he does. I mean, you take a look at him and you go, I laugh because I'm trying not to be racist, but I look at Joe Schoen and go, that is probably the most bland, prototypical white boy I've ever seen. Because that's just what he is. He has this arroganceness about him. Arroganceness. I don't even think arroganceness is a word. He's so arrogant. He's so smug. But you've been a failure for 3 seasons. Your first draft is probably one of the singularly worst drafts in Giant history. You have an opportunity to have almost your entire 99% of your entire draft class vis-a-vis your very first draft be a failure. And you sit there and you say to yourself, it can't get worse with Joe. But then you listen to him.
How do you characterize this year's quarterback class?
I mean, there's some depth to it. I mean, there's good players for various reasons.
First of all, if you think there's depth to this quarterback class, you are a bigger moron than I initially thought. This is one of the worst quarterback classes coming out since the Kenny Pickett, Malik Willis draft. Seriously. This is not 2004. This is not 1983. You have 2 guys in this draft that will probably be difference makers. The rest will probably be career journeyman backups. And I'm looking at you, Jackson Dart, as well.
Different ages, different playtime experience.
He's talking about different ages and playtime experience. You think he's looking at Tyler?
There's quarterbacks in this draft that'll go on and play and be starters in the league.
Are there quarterbacks of the future, so to speak?
Yeah, I would say so.
There's quarterbacks of the future, but just not for the New York Giants.
I know you said you don't think it's mandatory to get a quarterback in the draft, but how surprised would you be if you got through the entirety of this draft and didn't take a quarterback?
How surprised? A percentage or?
He tries to be this smug asshole. How surprised? Do you want me to give you a percentage? It'd be I don't know. Let me finish my Uncrustable. It'd be 46.9%.
Not percentage. Do you going in your head? Do you think it's a likelihood that you might end up with a quarterback, or you think? Where do you stand on that?
I don't know whatever else you're dealing with, 31 other teams and how they see their boards. So, if the value matches up with what we have on a player and there's an opportunity to take any position, we'll do it. But not going to force it if it's not the right value.
So the quarterback. So Shedeur Sanders is sitting there at 3. And let's say Travis Hunter is sitting there as well. So you are going to value a corner/wide receiver who has already come out and said that he does not want to be drafted by a team that won't let him play both ways.
That's what she said.
Which to me is he's going to learn quickly, son, that the NFL, you're going to figure out that real fucking quick, that this isn't college. You're not playing the mighty Furman. But you're going to tell me you are going to value a wide receiver corner, which you've already gone out and drafted a corner last year, used your first round pick on a corner the year before, gave Paulson Adebo 54, guaranteed 36. You went out and you got Malik Neighbors last year. You went out and also gave $36 million to Darius Slayton. You're going to value that more because you're going to go best player available when you're a really bad team over a potential taking a swing at a potential franchise quarterback because you are too much of a pussy to lift the bat off your shoulder and take a swing. That's what you're telling me, Joe.
And, again, if the board lines up when we're on the clock and that's the position that we want to go with, we'll go with it. But I'm not going to be backed into a corner on that.
Who's backing you? You cannot run an NFL franchise without a quarterback. You have this delusion, Joe Schoen does, this mindset that Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston are going to be the saviors. I'm still not convinced that they are better than Daniel Jones and Drew Lock. You have a Russell Wilson on the downside of his career who flamed out in 2 other places, was basically told he's not the best teammate in Pittsburgh and in Denver, and he wore out his welcome in Seattle. You're going to hope that you're going to catch lightning in a bottle with that. And if not, then your backup is Jameis Winston. If any other team, any other one of the 31 teams, literally, if we were Giant fans, looked at this and saw this, we would be making fun of that team. we would be making fun of that team so much. But since there are quarterbacks, we have to sit there and say, "Oh no, it's gonna be all right. Don't worry. Don't worry."
Improving the quarterback. Signed a couple of veterans, Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. How important is it for the Giants to select a quarterback at some point in this draft?
With the signing of those 2 players, I think we put ourselves in a position where, I don't think that's mandatory or something that we're, our feet.
No, because it's not mandatory, Joe, because you don't want to build toward the future. You don't want to build a franchise that wins or goes to 3 Super Bowls in 7 years and wins 2 of them. You don't want to do the Eagle model. You want to do the Giant model where you have 1 winning season and then 4 sucky seasons so you can have 1 winning season again because you don't have a quarterback.
To the fire, and we have to do. I think the 2 guys we signed have played a lot of ball. They've got a lot of skins on the wall, and I do think we've upgraded that room, compared to where it was a year ago. I like the 2 guys that we have, and Tommy's still in there, and he's won games for us too, and he's still developing.
If you literally think in your own mind that Tommy DeVito is still developing, you are a bigger moron than I can. You there? If I look, hold on, let me get my dictionary here. Oh, let's see, Joe, moron. Oh, there's a picture of Joe.
What's your urgency to find a young franchise quarterback in this draft?
Yeah, again, everybody wants one of those. Yeah.
Everybody wants one of those.
Planned one this year?
No, I mean, if there's not one, or you don't perceive there to be one, or it's not available when you pick, I mean, that's out of your control. So, I mean, yeah, we would love to have one. If
you know what would have been in your control? Hold on, you know what would have been in your control, Joe? Is if you took a quarterback last year.
If there's one available.
Hold on, Joe just keeps talking. Shut up, Joe. Nobody wants to fucking hear you talk. I am just so tired of the idiocy. I really am. I mean, it just boggles the mind, the Joe Schoen thought process. He came in here 4 years ago, and he was like, we're going to do it the right way here. We're going to build through the draft. We're going to get those foundational pieces, and then we're going to augment through free agency. You haven't done any of those things, Joe. You have literally done none of those things since you've been here. You make horrible trades. You do things that you shouldn't do. And then you talk about a bad team going best player available because you're a bad team. We're still a bad team. I'm sorry. You could think there's going to be this miraculous turnaround, and there may be, but there has to be so many things that go the Giants' way for there to be a turnaround. There's got to be so many nuances and so many facets to this, and you're going to have to hope that your draft class from last year renews itself and finds its vigor and improves. You have to hope that, and then he still talks about, we haven't made a decision on Evan Neal and Kayvon Thibodeau yet. Okay, if you pick up the 5th-year option on both of them, you're a moron. You're a bigger moron than I thought. Because neither, and I love it because then people are like, well, we should, this is...
But that's okay. Remember, there are no stupid questions, just stupid people.
And this is the other thing that bothers me about segment of the Giant fans. We're going to trade Kayvon Thibodeau. We're going to continuously redraft positions. And yes, I am rubbing my head. We're going to continuously redraft positions because we got him wrong 3 years ago. And I love it because Kayvon Thibodeau has such a high value that these people on Twitter are like, we're going to trade Kayvon Thibodeau for a high pick because he's got high value. If he has such high value, why don't you keep him? Instead of redrafting and going with the dip Abdul Carter. I'm sorry, guys. Go back. Everyone is mesmerized by last year's Abdul Carter, the defensive end Abdul Carter. Everyone's mesmerized about it. Go back and watch his first 2 seasons at Penn State and compare the first 2 and only seasons of Michael Parsons at Penn State. Compare them, and you will see 2 totally different players. They're not even in the same hemisphere. Abdul Carter is not Parsons. He was an off-the-ball linebacker, and when Penn State lost 2 defensive ends to the draft last year, they thought so much of his ability to roam that second level and be a difference maker, they put him at defensive end because they understood that he could use his speed and with this speed, he does a little shoulder dip to get around guys. And I love when people are like, well, you don't know anything. He's got a plethora of moves. Really? I did that video. I showed 7 sacks of what is 10 plus? I showed 7. And it's all the same move. It's a speed move, shoulder down, and get around a slower tackle. And then when his shoulder got hurt, he was ineffective in the bowl game. They just put him in the dirt. And now a guy that still has a hurt shoulder, a hurt foot, couldn't participate in the combine or his own pro day. We're going to consider taking him at 3 because we can develop packages for him when, per Logan Ryan, you need to get an impact player for the Giants at 3, not a guy that you're going to develop packages for. And, of course, Joe Schoen and them are flying out today to have a private meeting with Shedeur Sanders in Colorado. So evidently and I love it. We've said it before on the streams. Joe Schoen is the ultimate tire kicker. All he wants to do is kick the tires. He is the guy that goes on the lot 700 times, kicks the tires, and then never buys anything. Just kind of walks around. Oh, well, I think I'm gonna pass. He is a Joe Schoen. Joe Schoen is a guy that can't read the room, has his own agenda, seems like per Hard Knocks and the other conversations we've heard with him, doesn't listen to the people in his own staff, doesn't seem to respect the opinions of the people on his own staff, and goes this direction on his own, and like the Darren Waller trade. Some of us sat there and said this was a stupid trade. At that time, he was 2 years removed from a good season. He had multiple injuries. And I love the people like, well, he got traded because of the wedding. This is why I just sat there and laugh at our fan base. There are multitudes of players that don't invite. I'm going to give you a little insight into the NFL because I did work in the NFL and the Arena Football League. I'm going to give you a little insight. There are multiple players that don't invite their coaches to the wedding. Multiple. Tons of them. It had everything to do with the fact that he was 30, 2 seasons of injuries, hamstring injuries, and was overpaid on the contract that they shipped him off, and they had a new regime coming in, and they shipped him off to New York. And then we saw what happened. Some of us kept saying this is the dumbest move ever. And it reared its ugly head in that preseason game against Carolina, which was the only drive that the Giants starting offense had together in preseason, where he ran that crossing pattern. Daniel Jones almost got him decapitated, and Darren Waller got up, and at that point in time, I forget who I was with, the Big L and some other people. He got up, and I looked at Big L and said, this guy is done. Because the way Darren Waller looked at it, I was like, this motherfucker almost got me killed in preseason. You spent your last 3 seasons telling us Daniel Jones is the guy. You spent the last 3 seasons building everything around Daniel Jones. We have to get weapons for Daniel Jones. We have to get this for Daniel. You get all this, and then you get rid of him last year. And you never admit that it was a mistake. All you want to talk about, well, it was a good contract on our end. No, I said it the day that ink dry on that fucking deal. This was going to set the team back 5 years. And it has. And now you had the opportunity last year to not only get a franchise quarterback, but also get a starting wide receiver, and you went with Malik Nabers. And I'm not saying Malik Nabers isn't the right pick, but is it going to be year 3 or 4 before you get Nabers an actual quarterback? Do you think he's going to be happy about that? Or do you think he's going to be happy that you pick up Travis Hunter and he is no longer option 1, he's now option 1A or 1B? You think he's going to be ecstatic about that? Because it's not like this is a guy that ever complained about not getting targets early enough in the game. What happened if you do draft Travis Hunter? You put him in. I don't think Travis Hunter is going to be a position going to be wide receiver. I think it's going to be corner. But let's say you draft Travis Hunter, you put him in, and you sit there and roll with him, And then all of a sudden you're rolling in the game and you're not targeting Malik Neighbors. What is Malik Neighbors going to do? He's going to be quiet about it because we all know he's this quiet, shy guy. I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. If you're not taking a quarterback at 3, this is what I do. I pick up the phone and I call the New England Patriots. And I say, listen, I know you want Travis Hunter. Let's say Shador's gone. I know you want Travis Hunter. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let you trade up one spot to get Travis Hunter. I'm going to take 4, give me a 5th rounder. Then I'm going to take that fourth overall pick, and I'm probably going to move around 10. Try to move around between 9 and 11. And I'm going to draft Tyler Warren. And I've been trying to say I hate this idea for weeks now, but it just fucking makes sense. Because the two guys that may potentially be sitting there, in Abdul Carter and Travis Hunter, yes, while they're best players available, and yes, while that works for a good team that does not have a large contingency of holes, they don't make sense at 3 for the Giants. Tyler Warren makes sense. He's a big tight end. He has the Travis Kelce pass catching ability. He can open up the middle of the field, which will open up the running game. He is a guy that can pull that safety off of Malik Neighbors at times, so you potentially get one-on-one coverage on the sidelines with Malik Neighbors. He is a guy that is a safety valve. He is a guy that makes sense for the Giants because it opens up your offense. It can open up your running game. It can open up the middle of the field, and it can potentially give single coverage to your number 1 wide receiver, Malik Neighbors. It makes sense. It makes logical football sense on how to improve your team.
Doesn't anyone notice this? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
I really do think I'm taking crazy pills at times, and I'm just sitting there and I'm watching this and I'm thinking and I'm looking at it and I'm seeing all this stuff, and it just drives me insane. And our fan base at times drives me insane because it's one of these things that it's the fact that I shouldn't paint with a broad brush, but there's a good segment of our fan base that doesn't know football and doesn't know Giant history. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. I was offered an opportunity last week to be part of an NFL inclusive channel. That's just all NFL, not just the Giants and all NFL. And I keep thinking about doing it. And the problem is, if I do that, I would probably maybe only to devote one or 2 videos a week and maybe 1 live stream a week for the Giants. And I keep thinking about this, and it's like you want to enjoy watching football. I had so much fun watching college football last year, and I had a lot of fun because I have the YouTube NFL. It used to be on the dish, and then it was a live stream, but now it's on YouTube. I got the NFL Sunday ticket, and one of the and while I did watch the Giant games, a lot of times I had the Giant games on the small corner of the TV. I really enjoyed watching just football. I really enjoyed watching it being played right. I really enjoyed watching offenses actually matriculate the ball down the field. And I keep thinking to myself, you can't keep me cooped up in here, okay? I am a peacock. You gotta let me fly. Maybe I just need to fly. Maybe I need to take a step back from what the Giants are doing. Maybe limit the channel a little bit and work on this new channel, work for this new channel, and kind of see what goes on from there. And I have a couple weeks to decide because I need to do the first. I would have to do their first podcast or the first podcast for them on May 1st. So I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, it's there's just so much division in this fan base about everything. And someone had a great Twitter post that no matter who we pick, 50% of the fan base is going to be mad. And that's when you know that you have a big issue in your fan base. And I'm not the one that does it. I'm not the one that judges it. I'm not the one that ranks it. But we, in multitudes of places, we are voted basically some of the most ignorant fans there are, some of the least intelligent football fans out there. And like I said, you go on Twitter and it shows. I mean, it really does. I always go back to Captain Ron, one of my favorite Kurt Russell movies, and his favorite line is, "It shows, boss. It shows." Just another Pleasant Valley Sunday. We're not going to have a live stream on Sunday because it is Easter. So you know what? We might have a special live stream on Saturday. Also, of course, we're going to be calling the Giants pick from the Giant locker, like we've done the last 3 years, from the Giant locker room live from the stadium. So make sure you stay tuned from that. We're going to have Big L with us. We're going to have Swing Culture TV coming in as well as a couple other people. Dominic Palmer, of course, is going to be running the stream as always. So that's always fun. You get to listen to Dom and not understand half the words that he's saying. But make sure that you tune in. And as always, don't forget to like, don't subscribe, don't forget to ring that bell because you want to know why. That'll be awesome.